Have you ever watched a family on television and wondered what truly goes on when the cameras stop rolling? With the Brown family featured on the long-running show Sister Wives, that question has ignited countless rumors, heated debates, and swirling speculation. Beneath the public image of a close-knit plural marriage lies a string of surprising decisions, simmering resentments, and the kind of tension that leaves fans divided. Today we're exploring how the Browns skyrocketed to fame, how money and favoritism allegedly tore them apart, and why the entire story may be far more complicated than anyone ever imagined. But the real eye-opener isn't just Kody's changing relationships or the wives' evolving loyalties. It's the hidden drama that spiraled behind the scenes. From lavish spending habits to alleged manipulations that cut certain family members off entirely, the revelations might leave you rethinking everything you thought you knew about the Browns. Are we witnessing the fall of a once-united group, or is there still a slim chance they'll pull back together? Keep watching to find out how secret financial moves, personal vendettas, and an unexpected desire for independence transformed the family forever. Because even though they tried to present a united front for over a decade, the truth has a habit of finding its way into the spotlight, and the fallout could be bigger than anyone guessed. Before the turmoil, there was a time when Kody Brown and his wives were a spectacle in American pop culture, an unconventional group that intrigued viewers searching for stories that broke the mold. People tuned in by the millions to see how one man managed multiple marriages, juggled a house full of children, and still projected a cheerful, cooperative dynamic. At first glance, it was as if each wife, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and later Robin, were pieces of a puzzle that fit just right. Yet even in those early episodes, minor cracks peeked through. Observant fans noticed subtle tensions and hidden insecurities. Some wives looked uneasy during family gatherings, standing apart with forced smiles, while others bristled at Kody's flirtations with someone new. Still, the bigger narrative, four wives raising kids together with minimal drama, kept viewers hooked. Everyone seemed determined to stand by the guiding principle, that their love and shared beliefs in plural marriage trumped personal differences. For a while, it really did look like a functioning system. They moved from state to state together, seeking acceptance and better opportunities. The show's popularity surged, bringing the family financial gains. Life, at least from the outside, appeared comfortable. Merchandise sales, new business ventures, and deals with television networks all indicated they'd finally found success in the mainstream. But that wasn't the whole story. Behind friendly group photos and lively confessionals, hush-hush disagreements began brewing over how best to use the newfound money. Even more problematic, private resentments among the wives festered over who was really in charge. This was the calm before the storm. Once secrets slipped out, there was no going back. The first real sign of a serious rupture revolved around money, something that tends to crack even the closest relationships. While the Browns famously pooled their resources, rumors swirled that certain members of the family weren't getting a fair share. Before long, audiences were dissecting the show's every detail, searching for clues about alleged imbalances. Suddenly, the simplest scenes, like who drove a newer car or whose kids had pricier activities, took on deeper meaning. Skeptics pointed to Robin's apparent comfort, noting that she and Kody seemed to be living a more luxurious lifestyle. Stories popped up about expensive clothes, vacations, and even the possibility that the best parts of the show's income were funneling toward Robin's household. Fans noticed Janelle and Christine talking on camera about budgeting struggles or frustrations over property purchases, as if they were being financially sidelined. Adding fuel to the fire, some adult Brown children began chiming in on social media and in interviews. They hinted that their father and his fourth wife had a habit of living beyond their means, all while the other wives either forfeited or never fought for their share. Whenever the topic of who paid for what surfaced, tensions soared on the show and presumably around the family dinner table. But how could such a tight-knit group let money come between them? It wasn't just about funds. It was about fairness and respect. Some wives resented the idea that all their hard work and TV earnings might be funneling into a single household. Others simply wanted the chance to build homes on shared property or invest in businesses to secure their personal futures. When solutions didn't appear, frustration soared. Though they presented a united front for the cameras, each new complaint was another crack. Something had to give, and soon enough, it did. As the financial disputes simmered, an equally explosive charge emerged: Certain family members felt manipulated or silenced in favor of preserving Kody's wishes and Robyn's comfort. While the Browns initially banded together to highlight how different wives contributed in unique ways, behind the scenes, rumors suggested that loyalty came at a cost. If a wife opposed certain rules or refused to comply with family decisions, she risked being shut out. The older children caught wind of these tactics, and some openly discussed feeling excluded or neglected. One of the most unsettling accusations revolved around how Robyn's children seemed to have more opportunities and resources than the others. Some siblings claimed that if anyone outside Robyn's immediate circle wanted to connect with them, it required going through Robyn first, almost like needing an official stamp of approval. In some instances, individuals described being cut off unless they mended fences on Robyn's terms. Viewers were left wondering if these were just bitter exaggerations or signs of a deeper, more deliberate strategy at play. Meanwhile, the dynamic between Kody and his wives took on a new intensity. Fans noticed how Kody displayed frustration with the wives who questioned him, particularly Janelle and Christine, while doting on Robyn's perspective. Arguments escalated about where the family would live next, when they'd break ground on Coyote Pass, and which debts should be prioritized. Kody's patience with dissent seemed to vanish, causing rifts to deepen with each unresolved clash. In public interviews, the wives often sidestepped or downplayed these issues. But from the outside looking in, the pattern suggested someone behind the curtain was pulling more strings than ever before. And what happened next would shock everyone watching. Rather than come together, multiple wives decided enough was enough, giving the show its most unexpected shakeup yet. It was Christine who delivered the biggest public blow. She announced her departure from the marriage. For some longtime viewers, her move wasn't a shock. After years of voicing dissatisfaction, particularly around Coyote Pass, future housing plans, and how finances were handled, Christine made a clean break, revealing that polygamy no longer felt like her calling. She was done. Kody's reaction on air seemed a mix of anger, confusion, and an unwillingness to admit fault. He suggested Christine was throwing away everything they had built. The tension between them was painfully evident, setting the stage for more drama in the episodes that followed. Yet many fans saw Christine's exit as an assertion of long overdue independence. She'd spent years playing nice, hoping for compromise. In the end, the only real solution was leaving. Janelle's storyline soon mirrored Christine's struggle. Though more reserved, she voiced frustration at unmet promises and a lack of cooperation over property matters. She wanted to build on Coyote Pass, create a stable future, and avoid throwing all her money into questionable ventures. Kody's apparent refusal to support her vision gave Janelle pause. Rumors of a deeper rift grew when fans realized she was spending more time away from the main household. Some said she was simply done with the relentless drama. Mary, meanwhile, had her own transformation, shifting from unwavering loyalty to a more reflective stance. She hinted at feeling manipulated, even fooled about the family's unity. Slowly, Mary began speaking out, admitting she felt the show's portrayal once matched real life, but had become an illusion in recent years. The shared dream of cooperative plural marriage was unraveling piece by piece. As wives peeled away from Kody, the family's once cohesive image shattered in the public eye. No longer could they claim the typical polygamist success story. Instead, they were a cluster of individuals trying to protect their own interests and happiness. And what followed in their post-Brown lives might be even more remarkable. Once Christine and Janelle began stepping out from under Kody's shadow, they revealed a side of themselves viewers rarely saw: free-spirited, confident, and driven to secure their personal growth. They both leveraged the show's exposure to build businesses and start fresh. Christine, for instance, ventured into real estate investments, snapping up properties that quickly turned into profitable rentals. By carefully managing her earnings and embracing new opportunities, she found financial freedom on her own. Janelle, known for her practical streak and willingness to pinch pennies, also jumped into new investments. She explored farmland, rental properties, and other ventures that could offer long-term stability. Fans noticed her calm determination. It was as if she realized that without the burden of subsidizing someone else's choices, she could finally thrive. Meanwhile, Mary struck out on her own as well, channeling her entrepreneurial spirit into a bed and breakfast, online ventures, and sometimes cryptic social media messages that hinted she was done being sidelined. Though she rarely spelled out the extent of her financial standing, Mary's confident updates suggested she was more empowered than ever before. Free from the old household restrictions, she no longer worried about stepping on anyone's toes. The common thread binding these newly independent wives was their shared refusal to finance a life that seemed to only benefit Kody and Robyn. Once they severed financial and emotional ties, their individual growth took off. Life after polygamy was no longer a murky unknown. It was an exciting adventure that validated years of pent-up frustrations. But while the ex-wives navigated new freedoms, Kody and Robyn faced a very different reality, one filled with public backlash, swirling rumors, and the possibility of further estrangement. In the wake of these departures, Kody and Robyn found themselves on the defensive, both in the media and within their own extended family. Fans saw Kody's anger flare up more than ever, while Robyn was often depicted on the show tearfully insisting that she never intended to break up the family. She claimed to be just as blindsided by the fractures as everyone else. Yet critics argued that Robyn was far from surprised. Some even speculated she orchestrated events to ensure she ended up as Kody's primary and only wife. Robyn's stance on self-preservation gained extra attention. Certain siblings reported that everything Robyn did, whether pushing for expensive moves or carefully curating who could spend time with her kids, was less about unity and more about protecting her personal interests. But from Robyn's perspective, she had a right to secure a comfortable life for herself and her children. After all, she joined the family hoping for mutual support. If others chose to leave, she couldn't stop them. Money, of course, remained a sore spot. Blogs and social media channels buzzed with speculation about whether Kody and Robyn were drowning in debt due to large mortgages, lavish purchases, or a mismatch between income and expenses. Others suggested they were merely living well and had every right to spend their share of the show's profits as they saw fit. According to various insiders, though, the pair had a history of pushing beyond a normal budget, counting on future show earnings to bail them out. As the dust settled, one question lingered. Would Kody and Robyn come to regret driving a wedge through the family? Or were they simply living their best lives while those who left found clarity apart from the shared chaos? Either way, the tension they faced in the spotlight was nothing compared to the behind-the-scenes scramble to keep the show alive. And that leads to another mystery, just how long sister wives can continue under these fractured conditions. Despite the glaring divides and unresolved grudges, filming for new seasons has reportedly continued. Ratings soared whenever fresh drama surfaced, suggesting that, for better or worse, viewers were hungry for more updates on the Brown family's ongoing saga. But how sustainable could this be? If Kody and Robyn are the only ones left in the original dynamic, does the show pivot to their struggles with polygamy's collapse? Or do producers introduce new cast members? Speculation runs rampant that TLC will press the storyline for as long as it remains profitable. Kody might push to bring another wife into the family, an idea that has circulated in fan circles, though there's no solid evidence to confirm it. Others think the network might offer spin-offs focusing on Christine's new relationship or Janelle's budding business empire. On the legal side, some suspect that hidden tensions over property or intellectual rights to the show's brand could erupt into lawsuits. So far, no major legal disputes have surfaced in public, but with the wives establishing new independence, old contracts and shared assets could become major points of contention. If unresolved, they might lead to behind-the-scenes battles that could overshadow anything we've seen on air. Viewers remain divided. Some hope the entire family will reconcile in time, even if they live separate lives. Others insist that the emotional cuts are too deep for that. Ultimately, the only certainty is that the Brown family's story is still unfolding, and each new development has the potential to change everything. And if the past is any indication, nothing about the Browns' future will be predictable. For years, the Browns presented themselves as an unconventional but loving plural family, one that could overcome common misconceptions about polygamy through honest conversation and unwavering unity. Then came the startling revelations of financial imbalances, alleged favoritism, and growing manipulation. With each departure and tell-all interview, the framework that held the Browns together crumbled before our eyes. Old dreams about Coyote Pass, grand family homes, and a tightly woven clan have been replaced by separate lives, distant relationships, and new love stories. Was the family undone by their own secrets, or did the public scrutiny expose weaknesses that were always there? Perhaps it was a bit of both. After all, no television show can last this long without cracks appearing. The real intrigue is how each person chose to handle the fallout. Christine boldly walked away to build a new empire. Janelle took practical steps toward financial freedom. Mary stepped onto a more independent path. And Kody, seemingly left with Robyn as his last partner, continues to defend his actions. even when his adult children voice strong opposition. So, is there hope for reconciliation, or has the rift grown too wide to mend? Only time will tell if the Brown story ends in total isolation, or if somewhere down the road, forgiveness and empathy take root. Until then, one thing remains certain. The deeper we look, the clearer it becomes that the family we thought we knew is still full of secrets waiting to unfold. What do you think? Is the show we see just the tip of the iceberg, with even more behind-the-scenes drama waiting to spill out? Share your thoughts and keep watching, because in a family as unpredictable as the Browns, the next revelation might be more shocking than the last.